Welcome everyone to this episode of Father and Son Caps Precap for the Washington Capitals Pittsburgh Penguins series in the second round of the 2016 NHL playoffs. Now, the last time that we saw the Penguins in the NHL playoffs was during the 2009 playoffs, and I'm sure we all remember how that ended. And we're trying to not repeat history, and we're going to turn up and see how the Caps do in this series.
Yeah, and I happened to be Game 3 in Pittsburgh in that one. Kind of bizarre when you're cheering for a goal and no one around you is cheering. But that was one of those things where in that Game 3, late in the game in overtime, as a matter of fact, the puck, I think, went off Milan Jurčina's skate and kind of hit the corner of the net, and it was all downhill from there the rest of the series.
Yeah, it was... We went up and then we went down in that series just like we always do, or always seem to do in the playoffs. But this is looking like a different matchup. We're a different Caps team. We've got different coaching staff. We've got a different manager. This could go any way. I think that one of the biggest keys to this game, or this series rather, is going to be goaltending. I think Braden Holtby and Matt Murray are both on fire. Matt Murray obviously setting AHL records back and forth last year, coming in hot to this season in the NHL, and his last loss was March 1st against the Washington Capitals. So Braden Holtby also has been playing very, very well. He tied Brodeur for wins in a season. He has a .968 save percentage, I think, so far. But the Flyers didn't really test him so far in the playoffs, and because of that, I think we haven't really seen Holtby's true potential. And you actually saw a couple of games, Holtby was getting a little bit cold because he wasn't facing a lot of shots.
He's going to see a lot more rubber against Pittsburgh. They just have a far more talented group of forwards there. It's no question that the Penguins were playing very well down the stretch. I think, there was a lot of despair on that team. They had, Fleury had gone out. They had Malkin go down. He was going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. He's now back. They're playing very well down the stretch. Matt Murray's a big part of it, but he's a young goaltender, and he can be rattled.
He can, and he does have a few weaknesses. He doesn't deal too well with bodies in front of the net. We've seen him let in a lot of goals, a lot of cheap bounces that got by him. He's pretty slow with his glove comparatively to the rest of the goalies in the NHL. You'll see a lot of goals or a lot of pucks get past him high on the glove side. And most importantly, and this is where the Caps really need to capitalize, he has a pretty big adjustment period at the beginning of each game. It takes him about 10 minutes to set up to the pace of the game. So if the Caps can take it to him early and get some scoring opportunities in that first 10 minutes, we can really do some damage and hopefully get into the head of Matt Murray.
I think that's key. I mean, if you can rattle this kid early, they're going to be in trouble. I read that Fleury's still having symptoms. I understand that Sullivan had a press conference today. He got a little emotional as he gets. Talking about that, and it's one of those things where the likelihood of Fleury coming back, even in this entire playoffs, is probably remote. I mean, the Penguins have to look after the safety of their players, but I will probably not see him. It's going to be Murray. I think there's a big drop off after that, with Zakoff. But I tell you, that's going to be one key, and I think another key is going to be bringing a physical brand of hockey. The Penguins do not like playing the physical game. The Caps just got through a series like that, and I think a series against Philadelphia and the physical games that they had are going to help them in that regard.
Yeah, and we've seen in the past that when we bring a physical game to the Penguins, they start to kind of break up their style of gameplay. They've got a very finesse, very quick, very agile style of hockey, and if we play physical, we can break that up. But they can just as easily dance around us, so we need to be smart with our hits and separate the man from the puck, especially when they're coming into the zone, and we can't take ourselves out of the play when we do that.
Yeah, we cannot parade to the box. We're playing physical. We have to play clean. We have to keep our guys on the ice, let them take the penalties. Don't want to get into one of those games where we're killing penalties 2 and 3 in a row. It just kills us. It takes our momentum. We're not able to establish any type of offensive game in doing that. Tires some of our penalty killers out. Just not the type of game we want to get into.
No, it's not. Especially since the Penguins so far this playoff series have the best power play coming into this series. It's something like 38.4% effectiveness on the power play, which is a bit better than ours. I mean, we have a really effective power play too, but if we keep going to the box, we're not going to win the series. We can't take 3 high sticking penalties in the first 20 minutes of the game. That's just not going to work. Yeah, we have a great penalty kill, but they're great at getting shots through the traffic. And on the flip side, we can capitalize on their penalty kill because they have a very aggressive style of penalty kill. So working the perimeter and passing it around might not work that well, but it loosens up the center of the ice in their zone. And because of that, we can easily get traffic in front and hopefully generate shots. And that's what Matt Murray's really bad at.
And that's why, on the power play, I think we really have got to be dynamic. We can't, be a little more stationary. And I think that a lot of the teams, and although we did start out with a bang, particularly, in Game 3 against Philadelphia, where we just lit it up on the power play, I think teams have kind of figured us out a little bit. I think we got to move a little bit, maybe mix it up. I think we did do that toward the end of the series. And so I think that's going to be key. And quite frankly, we just need to get traffic in front of Matt Murray.
We absolutely do. And we struggled with that against the Flyers. It looked like they were successfully boxing us out of their zone. It was really hard to plant guys in front and keep them there. But that's something that we can do against the Penguins. They're a little bit looser in front, but they're really good at breaking the puck out. So not having turnovers in that offensive zone and being able to cycle the puck, win those corner battles, win the dump and chase race, doing all that, it's going to, be very effective against this Penguins team.
I agree. Another thing I want to see in this series, I want to see some of these guys that kind of started this playoff slow get going. Evgeny Kuznetsov, he's got a goal, no assists. I don't think Andre Burakovsky even has a point.
No.
Justin Williams has 2 assists. He had that game where he went to the box quite a bit. These guys have got to get going. They're guys who, during the regular season, chipped in on a regular basis. We need them to do that in the series.
We do, because it looks like our depth players are carrying the brunt of our playoff series so far. That's great. It's great that they're doing that because they led us to a 6-game win against the Flyers in the first round. But we need to play a more complete game with all of our guys, and that's the only way. That's the only way teams can win the cup. You can't have part of your team doing well and part of your team playing like crap and still expect to win every series.
I agree. Our leading scorer during the season was Evgeny Kuznetsov, points wise. And if you look at how the Penguins are doing this year in the playoffs, their top 3 scorers: Crosby, Malkin, Kessel, in that order.
Yep.
So their best players are playing their best hockey, and we need to see that with the Caps.
Yep. So anyway, Game 1 is tomorrow night on Thursday, and we're going to have to bring it to them fast and bring it to them hard if we want to win this series.
Let's go, Caps!